if you're here, you're wanting to install the Furry Legs asset that you've purchased on Etsy. To do that, you'll need to go to your Etsy account, and you'll need to go to the icon here, and you need to go to Purchases and Reviews. When you go there, you'll come to this window that will show you your purchases. This shows you receipts of physical items, or, for example, you can get a tracked thing, or if you are buying a digital item, which is what you have bought, it's going to show this here, and you need to click Download Files. From here, you can click Download, and either it will download the zip file directly, or if the file's too large, I will provide a text document in the download. So I'm going to show you as if it were a text document. So if the file was more than, say, 20 megabytes. But if it wasn't, you would just download here, and then you would have your zip file. But if it's large and you're given a text file instead, you'll get a .text file that you can open in Notepad. You'll just copy and paste the Google Drive link into your internet browser. And you'll want to make sure that you click the button up here. Don't download from, don't click the folder and download the individual pieces. Download the whole thing. From there, you should download a zip file. So now I'm going to show you how to unzip this zip file. It is called a zip file, and it can be opened with WinRAR, which is free, or your Windows operating system should be able to unzip it without WinRAR. What is a zipped file? A zipped file is basically a folder that has a bunch of files in it. It's just zipped up so that none of the pieces get lost while you're downloading it. But to be able to use it, you have to unzip it and put it back into a regular folder. So we can right-click it, and you can do Extract Files, or you can do Open with WinRAR, etc., etc. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Extract Files, and then I want to just drag this folder out onto my desktop. Okay, so now we don't need the zipped version anymore. I'm going to delete it, and I have the unzipped version. So now this is the version that your computer can understand. From here, we need to install it in our VTube Studio Items section, and to do that you need to find wherever you have VTube Studio installed, which you've installed through Steam. So usually it's going to be in your hard drive, Steam Library, Steam Apps, Common, and then it's going to be VTube Studio. But from here we need to go to VTube Studio Data, Streaming Assets, and these are items. So I'm going to put them in the items folder. So let's drag and drop the items in here. Let's see, it should have dropped them in here. Yes, so now they are in my items folder. The next step I'll show you is how to actually use this item. Okay, so now that you have your item installed, it should show up in the Live2D Item menu. So first we're going to select the model that we're going to use. Just as an example, I'm going to use Alina. Let's see, the first thing I want to do with this model is, because we're going to be using the legs, I'm going to go ahead and go into the model settings. And I'm going to turn off movement config. That way she kind of stays in one place. Next, let's go back to the items menu. And let's add the legs. So what I'm going to do is we're going to search for the furry legs, furry feet. There we go. We're going to put it on top of the model, and then we're going to make sure we configure and fine-tune the item. If you want the legs to be going the other direction, just flip the image. But we're going to hit configure and fine-tune. And in here, these sections you can kind of tinker with the like the movement adjustments and physics. I don't think you'll really need to mess with that. We do want to keep use normal hotkey triggers. So let's keep that for now, and then I'm going to hit save, and we're going to, do you want to customize the multiply and screen color overlays for this item? Yes, we do. That's how we'll color it. And let me just kind of give you a quick breakdown of how this model is put together. So in my drawing software, this is just an example of how this artwork is set up. Just ignore the colored toes, as we're just a guide. But we have different leg parts. So we have the left leg and the right leg. Let's go ahead and just do this. Every part that exists in this model has a couple layers to it. So let's just go ahead, let's just hide everything except for the thigh. So the thigh piece, we have the thigh color, which is just like the coloring in of the thigh. We have the shadow, and then we have the highlight, which you can't see because it's white, but there is a highlight. So let me just like temporarily So we have the highlight, the line art, the shadow, and then the base color. So every piece of this model consists of 4 pieces: the line art, the highlight, the shadow, and the color. So the thigh is like that, and the shin is also like that. All of the pieces are like that. The shin also has an extra piece for a marking, actually. So we have, the line art, the highlight, the shadows. This one has a marking, and then the base color. Every piece is like that. So every piece that the model is made up of is going to have 4 layers associated with each piece. So now that you kind of see that as a visual guide, let's go ahead and actually go into here. We can try to just like click on areas of the model, just to kind of like, okay, well, I want to color the thigh. It's not super exact, so the software is like, okay, which one of these items were you clicking? Was it the bean bag? Was it the thigh? Was it the shin? So I'm gonna just kind of click near the thigh, and then this is thigh L. So there's the line, the highlight, the shadow, and the color. So let's go ahead and change the color, and let's try to match our model's skin tone. It's a little brighter, a little more pink. Okay, let's just go a little lighter. There we go. Gonna hit OK. Okay, but the shading doesn't really match. See how it's kind of gray, whereas my model, the shading is a little pink. That's okay, because I kept the shadow layer as a separate color, so you can adjust the shading to kind of match your artwork a bit more. Let's go a little more this way. So there, that's a little closer. Let's make it a little lighter. Or if you don't like the shading, down here, this is the alpha. Alpha means how transparent do you want it to be. So if you don't want the shading, you could just turn the alpha all the way off, or you could make it like a little more transparent. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take note of the color here that's in this little box. So I'm going to go ahead and just make a note here that's like shadows. I want the color to be, it was FFB7DD. And then let me go back to the normal skin, the thigh color. It's F. So the skin was FFCFAD. Okay, and then the highlight for her, it's a little more yellow. It's not white, it's yellow. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little tinge of yellow tint, and that's going to be highlight. Oops, can't talk. It's FFFD5. Okay. That way I don't have to try and eyeball it. I'll get the exact colors, and I'll just paste these on all the other pieces. Oh, and the line art, her line art is a little more brown if you look closely, whereas this one's gray, so I can make the line art more brown. It's not super duper great, but it's there. Also, screen, if you blast a bright color, that will, like, make it lighter too. But I don't want any screen. So let's do the line color. Let's do the line. I did FF6F84. Okay. Okay. So now I'm gonna do that for the rest of the skin parts. I'm just gonna kind of click over here. This is shin L. So let's do shin L color. That's the skin color, which was FFC pad. Oh, well, that's not correct. Oh wait, there we go. Now it's correct. Okay. Now let's do the highlight, which was FFD5. Shin highlight. Let's do FFD5. No, that's not correct. Let me go back to my thigh highlight that I have here. FFFD5, okay. Let's go back to this one, highlight, let's pass, oh, okay, I was missing an F. There we go. Okay, let me correct that on here. And then the shadow was FFB. So now let's click the shadow. paste that. Come here, you paste it. Okay, cool. And then you'll notice this particular character design, her feet aren't white. You can see her feet down here, they're not white. The model does, the default furry legs have a marking. If you don't want to use the marking, you can either match it to the skin color or you can just make it transparent. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make it transparent. And let's do the foot. So we're gonna put our skin color on the foot. Foot L color, let's paste the skin color. Okay, let's do the foot shadow. Our shadow color was this. Okay, and then our highlight, our foot highlight was this color. And we'll do the same for the toes. And the toes get a little confusing just because there's so many of them. So one thing that might help is if you want to just do all the highlights at once, let's just search. No, it's not letting me search for some reason. Oh well. Let's just focus on color. So I'm just going to only do the ones that say color. Oh, the color's wrong on that one again. Let me change that highlight back. So our color, okay, so let's do the colors of the toe. Toe color, click the other toe color, toe pinky color, toe L3 color, and then there should be toe 1 color. So for this model, it's named toe 1, 2, 3, and pinky. So now that I did the base color, now I'm going to copy the highlights from the shin. I'm just going to click that and click OK, and now I'm going to just find everything that says toe highlight. There we go. Paste. The other toe highlight, let's paste. Middle toe highlight, let's paste. Pinky toe highlight, let's paste. And then we need to do the shadows. So let me click the leg shadow. I'm going to open this one. I'm going to click OK. Go back to the toe shadow. Here, we're just going to hit paste. Foot shadow, toe pinky color. I want pinky shadow. Oh, there we go. Toe 3 shadow. Paste. I'll go ahead and paste that color on the beans. Oh, for some reason this one's named L color. That's not correct. Let me paste that. I'll have to rename that before I send this file out. Toe shadow. That's why it was so hard to find. Toe shadow. Yeah. Bean. These little paw pads, they're called beans. So let's do bean. Not to be confused with bean bag. So let's do bean shadow. Bean shadow. Pinky toe bean shadow. I'll just do all the shadows. Let's do foot shadow, shin shadow, pad shadow, bean shadow, toe shadow. Oops, I didn't want the foot color. Bean shadow. The other bean shadow over here. Bean shadow. Toe shadow. I need the toe shadow. And the bean shadow. Toe shadow. There we go. And let's do this thigh shadow. Oh, I need thigh right shadow. That's the one that's hidden under there. There we go. So now all of the shadows are done. So now let's do the skin. So I'm going to click the shin color, and I'm just going to click OK, OK. Click on the shin color, and let's hit paste. This marking, I can just go ahead and hit paste, or I can make it transparent, doesn't matter. Foot color, paste, paste. Let's do the toe colors. Paste, paste. Toe color, paste, paste. Toe color, paste, paste. Toe color, paste, paste. And let's do the thigh color, paste, paste. Now let's do the toe beans. Let's do pad color. It could be like a dark brown for her, or we could do like a pink. Let's just do pink. So let's do bean color. Bean color, paste. Whoops, that's the beanbag color. We don't want the beanbag color. I want bean color. There we go. Paste, paste. Bean bar. Bean bar. Let's do the toe beans. Let's do the pad color. Bean color pinky. Bean color L3. That bean color over there. Bean color, there we go. Bean color. Now let's do the claws. Claw color. I'm not going to mess with the shadows. I'm only going to do the colors for the claws. Let's do the kind of brown. There, that's good. Or if you don't want the claws, you can set all of the assets to transparent, but you'll have to do that for all 4 pieces. So you have to do it for the shadow, you'll have to do it for the color, you'll have to do it for the highlight, and you'll have to do it for the line. But if your model doesn't have, like if your character doesn't have claws, you can make it invisible. For the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to leave them white. Now, and we can change the beanbag color, but do take note of the beanbag color. So let's just set it to a light yellow. Okay, and I'm gonna save the name of this color here. So let's do beanbag, and then I'm gonna do beanbag shadow color because the gray is kind of boring. So let's make the shadow pink. Like a kind of a warm color. Okay, and let me copy that color because there is another piece to this. So we're gonna hit OK, OK. Don't click cancel, you will lose all of your work. Actually, I want to make the line darker. There we go. I'll go ahead and make note of the line too. Beanbag line. Because the back of the beanbag is a separate piece. All right, so click OK. Don't hit cancel. You'll lose all your work. Oh, we didn't do the line art. I'm just gonna the shin line. There we go. Paste. Foot line. That's why I kind of drew it in gray. That way you can change the colors if you want. Actually, I should be able to search. If I click off here, yeah, see now I can search. So let's search line, and all of the line art pieces will pop up here. So I can just turn them on and hit paste. So you could search bean and paste all the bean colors, or stuff like that. So, but this is line, so it's only line art. So, but this makes it easier. So let's just make all of the line art kind of brown. There's a lot of pieces, but once you do this, I'll show you how to save it so that you won't have to redo it all the time. We'll save it to a hotkey, and I'll show you how to do that. Almost done. Just don't click cancel or you will lose all of your work and you'll have to do all of this again. Never click cancel. Never click cancel. I've done it accidentally so many times. Okay, there. Now that matches our model better. All right, so now we're gonna hit OK. And, oops. Let me go to shortcuts. Oh no, I don't know how to shrink or unpin my thing. It's stuck like that. Well, let's go to settings. I'm going to create a hotkey for the legs. We're going to set a hotkey action, art mesh color preset. Oh, it won't let me do it? Huh. Well, I think it'll just save this, hopefully. I'm going to delete it and see if it'll save it. Because I don't know how to get my item to move again. It's ginormous and I don't want it to be. So I'm going to remove it from the scene. I'm going to reload it. And hopefully it saved all those colors I put on it. So let's look up legs or furry feet. Click OK. Oh, thank goodness it did. Okay, cool. So it'll save it. That means if you have multiple models and you're going to use this for different models, it might be in your best interest to duplicate the item and somehow rename all of it or something. But here we go. So we've got this. But let's say... let me put my character like, maybe for some reason my character sits like over here and oh no, I can see my character's legs down here. You can probably cover that with your overlay, but if you want, you can actually go to your model customization settings over here, customize model, and we're going to do the same thing but on our model. So customize and multiply screen color for art meshes. And for Alina, come here. We can turn the thighs invisible. So we can just do this to make them invisible. Foot, come here. So they're invisible now. And now I can save this to a hotkey. So I'm going to click OK, and now my model's missing her legs, but let's go to our hotkey real quick. And let's create a new hotkey. So we're just going to name this Turn Off Legs. Hotkey action. This is an art mesh preset. We're going to record it. And now I'm going to set it to just a random key, C. Now when I push C, her legs come back. I push C, they turn off. That way we can kind of like get away with something maybe a little more like this. We'll probably still position her down here this way. And for this model, she has a lot of hip movement. She has like a ton. So if you feel like your model has a similar amount of insane hip movement, oh, see, I don't want to pin it to my model because I don't want this to move. So I'm just kind of placing it near my model. I'm trying not to pin it to my model. But see how much her hips move? Maybe we don't want that. So we can actually go into our configuration settings over here. Let me move her over here and put this over here. And this is going to be your body rotation. And this is the X. So this is her body rotation. Let's say you don't want her body to move. You can just like set it to 0. And 0. So that way you don't have to like come up with like your model artist and be like, hey, I need you to make a version where the hips don't move. You can just turn that off here, and then you can always come back in and turn it back on whenever you're done using this. But yeah. Oh, now let's put the back. Let's put the back of the beanbag. So let's load the back. Oh, actually, before I do that, let's say you don't want a beanbag. Let me show you. There's a hotkey for this to turn the beanbag off, and there's also a way to do a mask for it, but I don't know how to do it from here, so I'll show you in a separate tutorial. But let's go ahead and put the back of the beanbag. So let's do beanbag back, and I did include the front, just in case you want to use the beanbag without the legs, but you won't need it for this. Let's put it behind our model where it's configure and fine tune. Save. We're gonna, yes, we want to change the colors, and let's see, the beanbag line, the beanbag color. So let's put the color. Let's put the shadow. And let's do the line. Okay. Oh, I don't want to pin it to my model, so let's put this over here. Let's put her over here. Let's put, whoa! Stay there. No, not you. I want the legs. Shucks, they pin. I don't know how to like be able to move the legs when I accidentally pin it to something other than removing it, which is a pain in the butt. So there might be a way to do it. Definitely look up a tutorial. I'm more of like the artist that makes stuff and less of a, I'm not as savvy with VTube Studio itself. I'm more of the just the rigging guy. Now let's put the legs, furry feet above the model. Scoot her down. There, that way if you wanted like the back of the beanbag, you can have the back. And you know, you can put it as low or as high as you want. You can make it smaller, you can make it big. But yeah, now we've got leggies. Yeah, it's pretty nice. The next video tutorial, I'll show you how to use the mask. That way, if you wanted to put your feet up on a table rather than a beanbag, I'll show you how to do that.